Welcome to Adjusting, a safe space for candid conversations about mental health and well-being with your host, Justin G. Nelson. Whether you're recovering from trauma, redefining your purpose, managing mental health, or simply craving more authenticity, this show is for you. I hope something resonates with you and helps you on your own personal journey. So sit back, relax, and let's start adjusting. The time has come. The day has arrived. You are now tuned in to Adjusting Podcast. Think of this as my pilot episode to the reality TV show that everyone said I needed. This is as close as you're going to get for now. So welcome to Adjusting Podcast. So let's jump right in. How did we get here? How did I get here? Well, I don't know how I got here. It never dawned on me that I would be an advocate for mental health. Ever since the third grade, I've been helping people, sometimes outside of my own will. But as a cancer, I just love to help people. I love to support people, but I also have the horrible habit of taking on other people's trauma or responsibilities or hurt and those things. So I ended up in therapy, but I didn't start therapy until 4 years ago. Let's go back to everything that led up to where we are now. So growing up in the church, there was a period where there were like certain songs that were always on repeat. You had Byron Cage song. What was it? The presence of the Lord is here. Like everybody attempted to sing that song. I don't think many churches should have sang that song, but it was a hit. But there was one song that has stuck with me and become basically my life's mantra, if you will. The best is yet to come. For the longest, everyone had a signature in a phone. I think it was like Nokia Trend or whatever. And my signature was the best is yet to come. I would use it on Facebook. I would use it on my phone signature everywhere. It was just the best is yet to come. The best is yet to come. But the lyrics to the song go, hold on my brother, don't give up. Hold on my sister, just look up. There is a master plan in store for you if you just make it through. God's going to really blow your mind. He's going to make it worth your time. For all of the struggles you've been through, the blessings double just for you. Y'all, like that, those are bars. Okay, I know Kendrick Lamar got some bars, but Donald Lawrence, he did his good thing with the best is yet to come. So that just became my mantra, and it stuck with me all throughout high school, undergrad, graduate school, moving to New York, the ups and downs. It just became my mantra. So from that, I started to, I was putting the cart before the horse with a lot of strategies or a lot of brands. So I brainstormed. I started with VIP, Vision is Possible. Listen, that was nice. Somebody took it. That's fine though. And then my frat brother, best friend Patrick helped me with something. It was Affirming Me. I was like, I am affirming. That lasted all of 2 minutes. And then I just, let it sit. I was just like, I'll come back to it. It will come back to me when it's time to happen. Aside from the positive aspect of life, there came the highs and lows. So I was in my first real relationship in 2015. And there's a meme on social media that talks about there are 3 loves in your life. The one that is this, the one that's this, and the one that I kind of believe it. Like I kind of feel that it applies to me. And his first love was a thing, We're still friends to this day. But it was an experience that really broke my heart, and shout out to Mercury retrograde. This That relationship showed me the true power of Mercury retrograde. When I tell you I was not in alignment, okay, I listen. Jasmine Sullivan's song was like a playlist that played in my head. So that was a low for me, and it was the beginning of my rebirth. So a lot of times in astrology, there's like this 8 cycle, and you go through things for like 8 years. I think it's like your Venus years, or Venus is 5, something dealing with 8. And throughout the healing process of that relationship, I stumbled upon crystals. I have a crystal necklace. I don't have it on now, but I have a crystal necklace. It's chrysocolla, and it is for anxiety. I had a ring too, but I moved a lot when I lived in New York. Well, living in New York, I moved a lot. So I kind of lost the ring, but I kept the necklace. I still have the necklace to this day. And that necklace, if you believe in crystals or not, I truly believe that all of my anxiety went into that necklace. It's probably why I lost the ring, because my hand was just like, we ain't got time for that. And I started using crystals to really help me through that heartbreak. I will say it was a heartbreak. I was doing Mamma Mia at Playhouse on the Square. Thank God for muscle memory. I cried twice during the breakup, but during Mamma Mia, we were doing boo, la, boom, ha ha. Yeah, I was I was blacked out on stage. Like, all I was thinking about was, how did this happen? And how did I, like, heartbroken. Yeah, listen, don't be a performer going through a heartbreak, trying to keep it together on stage. I think I missed a cue once or twice, but it happened, and I'm grateful for it. And so I started using crystals more and more. I even got into sage and smudging and things like that. But it was, I think 2017, 2018, I got introduced to more of tarot. So one of my first reader, it was I think the solar eclipse, the big one that everybody, like, kids got out of school for. Not the most recent one, but the one back in 2017, 2018. And it was in that moment, my friend Claire got me a notebook, and the cover of that notebook said, "The best is yet to come." And I'm still like, bruh. I had that notebook ever since I moved to New York, and Claire gave it to me as like a going away gift because she knew that was my thing. So I started journaling in that notebook. Now, it was way before the pandemic and way before I discovered like scripted journaling, which we'll cover later in the episode. But I just started writing how I was feeling in the journal and kind of trying to track my mood. Like, I know women have their, monthly cycles. I feel that Cancers have a cycle too. Or it could just be adjusting thing to where I know when a mood swing is coming. It's usually the end of the month. For me, the 25th through whatever the end of the month is, that's a mood swing. I'm sorry. I will not be myself. So we got through the solar eclipse and things just started shifting. Like, shifting. And I was just like, wow. So fast forward, I got introduced to tantric yoga. Now, before y'all ears perk up and y'all get a little too excited, it ain't that type of party, okay? Now, I will say that there is a part of me that wants to talk about sex, shame, and spirituality. Whole different platform, okay? Whole different ballpark. We're not doing this here. We'll keep it PG as much as possible, okay? But with tantric yoga, it gave me the opportunity to finally release myself from my ex. Now, again, we're friends, but it's a heel version now of me. That's what they get, the heel version of me. And through tantric yoga, I think I've done 18 challenges. So during the practice, it was 21 days of no porn, no masturbation, no, it was one other thing. And then you had to do a creative practice to kind of supplement that time or whatever. So I was doing those 21 days. The best 21 days ever. I did it 17 times. Now, I will say, I think around challenge 13, 14 became 30 days. That was a struggle. That was a struggle. The energy and the focus was amazing. Everything else, I wanted to punch a hole in the wall. It was excruciating. But I will say the bonding moments, the amount of clarity, the amount of spiritual awakening I discovered through tantric yoga, the breath work, the moving of energy, the Kegels. Baby, the Kegels. Okay, the Kegels are real. I highly advocate that men exercise their Kegel muscles. It will change your life. I'm a witness. It will change your life. But through tantric yoga, I was able to really tap into the power of owning your energy and the sexual energy exchange, sex. SEX is the acronym, sexual energy exchange, and really being mindful of who you give your energy to, whether it is penetrative sex or it's just, casual sex. Y'all, this is not, again, I'm not shaming anyone. I'm just saying, if you wondering why your energy or you feeling off or you not, who you giving your time and attention to, like that really counts. That's all I'm gonna say on this. We will talk about that in another episode. Okay, so we got through tantric yoga. Again, that was a huge part of my adjusting journey. Now, some of you know I am a performer. Now, I might not show it a lot on my Instagram page or my platforms and stuff, but I'm a performer. I went to school for music education. I got my master's in musical theater and film. I take film classes, but living in New York, listen, I gotta survive, okay? So I don't have the luxury of taking dance classes and voice lessons and film classes 24/7. I don't have that. Now, if I was a Nepo baby and I didn't have to work and I can go to do it, absolutely. I would be in every class, but I don't. I got to survive. But I am a performer. And I will say that being a performer in New York is not for the weak. It is not. The amount of rejection that you face in this industry, knowingly and unknowingly, like it's different to go into a call for a predominantly white show knowing that you won't get cast and going in for, I think I went in for Dreamgirls. And I tell myself often to soften the blow that I didn't get cast because I'm too short. That's usually the case. I'm 5'4.5". Resume says 5'5", but I'm 5'4.5", and it's usually, the lead is 5'8", so we want to keep the men taller, or partnering. I don't have much technical training. I learned a lot of my technique through choreography, so I can get through an audition. And then once I'm in the rehearsal process, I am a sponge. If you say do a pas de chat, I'm a look. I'm going to attach the word, the term to the move you did, and I will forever remember that choreographical move as that term. Okay, that's just how I learned. Because again, I wasn't afforded the luxury of a lot of things growing up, but I took advantage of the opportunities that came. Now, going back to rejection, there was a period of time. Now, I was never going to move back home, but baby, I said, get this. I'm not about to keep spending money on headshots, transportation to get to these auditions. At the time, I was in union. To sit in a room from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., all to be told you're not being seen. You can do a drop off, to be typed out, or just to not be seen at all. Like, that's a lot to deal with. And I've been doing this for 10 years. Now, I've booked 3 shows since I've been here. I did the Wizard of Oz national tour 6 months after moving here. That's impressive, okay? But then I went on a drought. Like, I wasn't booking nothing. I've gone in for at least 100 shows. And then I did the Comedy of Errors at Shakespeare Theater Company. Got my EMC card. I was like, okay, now I'm gonna get back. that wasn't the case. Okay. And then I did Jelly Slash Jam at Long Wharf Theater in Connecticut. And then I got my equity card. So now I'm just like, okay, Jesus, like the ball is rolling. Let's do it. So who's to say this year, 2024, I might be on my way. We'll see. We'll see. But rejection was a huge part of my healing journey. I had to find ways to pivot in the rejection, like to not take it personal and just believe that the best is yet to come. Oh, love that. Now, during the pandemic, it's 2020, and I was working as the merchandise manager at Tina, the Tina Turner musical on Broadway. I'll never forget, I went in to work that Thursday to process an order. At 3 o'clock, we got an email saying, take all your money to Hamilton, I think. We will be closed because of this virus that's going around, and we'll email you when we return. Needless to say, when the world reopened, I went back to waitress and then to Tina, and then I left. But during the pandemic, or right before the pandemic, I discovered Akashic records. Now, Akashic record readings are not like fortune telling. So that, like, scratch that from any thought of Akashic record. It's literally a connection with your ancestors and the universe, giving you guidance and clarity on things. Not telling you what you, it's not that. It's a guidance kind of thing. Do I want to do? Absolutely. I would love to be able to open my own record and connect with higher self. That's beautiful. Okay. It's like prayer with some cards. I love it. I love it. No, I got the books. I got the resources. I feel that I could do it. I just have to do more work before I get to that point, because I don't want my trauma and triggers to interfere with the reading. So who knows? Stay tuned. Maybe you can book a reading with me at some point. But these Akashic records really added more clarity to my purpose and what I wanted in life, in a relationship, in my career, my finances, my health, like all those things kept popping up. So shout out to Tina and Julian for being my readers and really sticking with me, okay, through the highs and the lows, because they know about the lows, okay. I need to get them to sign some HIPAA forms just in case some things come up. But aside from that, pandemic also brought situationships. Yeah, I was going to leave this out, but I was like, because if it wasn't for this situationship, I would not have started therapy. Now, when my father passed in 2011, my god sister was just like, you should go to therapy. At the time, I was not a fan of therapy. At the time, I thought she was forcing her degree on me, but she wasn't. She meant well. I didn't take it that way. So here we are, 10, 12, 13 years later. I'm telling everybody to go to therapy. You see on Facebook, go to therapy. Okay, find a therapist. I'm not a therapist, but if I'm the closest thing you can get to a therapist, I will be your therapist. Okay, you can pay me though. You guys pay me, and I'll sign a HIPAA, NDA, whatever. Because some of y'all be getting a little too personal, and I'll be like, hey, boundaries. I don't need to know about all that. You can tell me, but I don't need to know about it. But anyway, because of this situationship and the things that transpired through this situationship and the way communication wasn't the best, they felt that I needed therapy. I said, cool. Listen. If this is what pushed me to therapy, fine. I'm in therapy. I've been in therapy now for 4 years. I discovered there's this chart, there's this wheel of feelings chart, or this feeling wheel. That thing, whoever made that, I hope your popcorn is stale, okay? I hope your pillow is warm every night, because that chart should not be that detailed. It's just problematic. Like, I get it, it's necessary, it is necessary, but whatever. So anyway, in therapy, we talked about a lot of my childhood trauma. We talked about the fact that I'm the master of deflection at certain things. Some stuff I ain't gonna deflect about it. We gotta talk about. We gotta talk about it. I also discovered boundaries, and I've noticed that people sometimes mistake boundaries for like an attitude or being dismissive or being a shit starter. If you, nah, baby, the boundaries. How you take it and how you affected by it, that's your problem. Like, you played a factor in these boundaries. Okay, if I tell you about the issue and you make another issue, baby, you listen. Printing press. Okay, you're making all the issues at this point. I'm just trying to have a conversation. You trying to make another issue. Who fault is that? Not mine. So we talked about boundaries in therapy. And I also, mother, if you're listening to this, you can stop listening now. So during the pandemic, I took up a hobby. I took up a hobby. So you know that little thing that like back in elementary school that was like, don't do drugs. I'm not a drug user. I was a recreation. Yes, was because I haven't. No. I partook in the holy green stuff. I don't do it as much right now because of my sinuses, but it was beautiful. Like my friend and I won't say their name, but my best friend and I, listen, I can tell you about every strain, indica, sativa, hybrid. You listen. The thing about me, if something becomes a hobby, I'm invested. Okay, I was researching every type, CBN, CBD, like all of them. Okay, and I became invested. But there was one night, I was in my apartment, and I don't know what it was. I think it was lemonade or something. It wasn't train wreck. It was one of them strands. It should have been called emotional roller coaster because the amount of shadow work I did while under the influence was beautiful. I have a note in my notes app full of just topics. And I took it to my therapist and I said, these are things I want to talk about. Now, I will read some of these to you for the sake of transparency. Let me find it. So it's called shadow work. Here it is. Oh, all right, guys. So number one, I don't know how to ask for help. Now, I discovered because of my chart, because of my natal chart, I am conditioned to not ask for help. It's not that when I was raised, my mom said, if you can't get it done in this house, you can't get it done. It's not that. It was never that because I broke that rule many a times. And it's not that every time I did a group project, I was the only one who did the work. Not that either. It was just that I felt I became a burden on other people if I asked for help. Now, I will say some people just didn't have the capacity to help me, and it was like pulling teeth to get them to help. So I was just like, don't worry about it. Moving on to the list. I don't speak up about things that bother me. As a Cancer, I think people should read my mind. I don't take compliments. I don't. They just make me uncomfortable. I'm sorry. I overwork. I do. I'm working on it. See, I'm working on it. I'm working on overworking. I don't prioritize. We're going to skip that one. I never focus on the positive. As a performer, we're always focused on the rejection. I'm a natural deflector. Oh, okay. So this one is personal. I tend to overexert myself for the sake of acceptance. Now that went back to my anxious attachment style that we discovered in therapy. Beautiful. Love it. And then this last one, I won't get too deep in the list, but this last one says, I spent so much of my life hiding who I am and what I love for the sake of other people's feelings and acceptance. So I highly recommend doing some shadow work because it will really allow you to just be honest with yourself and those around you. So, while in therapy and while doing everything else, I was in one of the worst living situations ever. I was in an apartment with roommates, and the long story short, the new roommate was moving in. He changed the lock. I was house sitting. I left. The old roommate came back and didn't have a key to get in. He called the police at 3 o'clock in the morning. I had to come back, and then we got into it at 3 o'clock. I had an anxiety attack, passed out in the apartment. He was on FaceTime with his friends, recording the whole thing. Mind you, I passed out. I got up, locked myself in my room. Me being me, I had my iPad connected. So he had my phone. He took my phone. I had my iPad connected. I was able to let my other roommate know what was going on. Made it through the night. I recorded the conversation on my notes app. He did not delete that. Sent that to the landlord and said I'm moving out. That was the most traumatic thing, fourth most traumatic thing that has ever happened to me. I still have the voice memo. It was a video. I recorded a video and saved it. I learned that from an old boss. Anyway, that was one of the most traumatic things that's ever happened. And it was at a point where I was ready to move. Like this is personal. Anyway, so they weren't paying rent. They basically was taking the money and spending it towards their car insurance, 3 months. That's how I got involved. That's how the landlord was just like, what's going on? Like, you ain't paid rent. I'm like, huh? I paid my rent. Listen, we were getting the stimmy check. I had no reason not to pay rent. I had the money. And yeah, so long story short, I just had to get out. And so because of Akashic records and therapy and scripted journaling, which I didn't talk about yet, I manifested this apartment I'm in right now. So shout out to God, my ancestors, and the universe for making this happen. Now, I wasn't too specific with what I wanted, but I'm here. Now, with scripting journaling, this was a huge trend going on TikTok for a while. They just talked about, like, in a way, writing down what it is you want in the present tense. Like, for instance, I am so happy to be living in my own apartment in Brooklyn with the space to create content that I want. Ta-da! That's how I got here. That's how I feel I got here. Shout out to God. So, highly recommend scripted journaling. Now, I do write the vision journaling. So basically, you're writing out your goals daily, like and first day I did this, I was just like, I am so happy. No, my family is happy and healthy. My mama called me. I just finished working out. Like, yes, we're moving quick. Let me write some more stuff. So that just really confirmed that I'm in alignment and I'm doing the work. So all that to say, one day I was talking to my best friend TJ. Shout out to TJ. And I was just like, I've got to get this podcast out off the ground. Now, before I got to adjusting, my best friend Ebony and I, we launched a podcast called Second Pew Podcast. When you leave church, when you leave to get water but don't come back. It was short-lived because we never set up the conversation. We never set up the microphones and camera and lights to have the conversation. We were just on the phone talking. And I was like, well, this would have been a great podcast episode. She was like, yeah. And we just like, we'll just keep the conversations to ourselves because it's a lot of y'all that have podcasts that don't. And some of y'all that post Instagram that I want to report. Like, I'm gonna start reporting y'all stuff on Instagram because some of the stuff y'all be saying, I'm just like, stop it. Just stop it. But it's fine. Everyone can do, it's free speech. So do what you want. I'm just going to mute you. But I was talking to TJ and I was like, I really want to get this off the ground. Like, I need a name. I need a name, and I think the rest will come. I sat on my couch, the one behind me, and I was just like, God, I need a name. Like, I really want to do this work. I've just almost, I think I've finished, but wrapped up my community health worker certification with Columbia University and Mount Sinai. And I'm teaching at the University of Memphis. I'm doing all this work with mental health. I'm posting on Facebook. I'm sharing this, that, and the other. I'm an advocate, but I want to reach more people. And God was just like adjusting. And I was just like, huh? Oh, that's the name of the my name, Justin G. No. Like, bro, I see you working. Like, he's creative like that. So that's how I got the name Adjusting. It was literally a godsend. And I am grateful that you listened to this entire episode to get this journey of adjusting and where I am now. Now, I will go more in depth about everything, but thank you again for tuning in, and I'm excited for what's to come. Until next time. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode. I hope you take something away to help you make the adjustments you need. Before you go, please take a quick second to share this with someone you care about. And if you can, please leave a 5-star rating and review on whatever platform you're listening to this on. For more information about adjusting or to inquire about being a guest, head over to adjustingpod.com. Until next time.